My name is Tara Mayson, and I'm the Executive Director and Founder for the Hope Dealer Project.
I'm Ian Wallace. I am the Director of Public Relations for the Hope Dealer Project.
All right, and now tell me what the Hope Dealer Project does and how you guys help your clients.
So the Hope Dealer Project was founded in 2015, and we actually assist individuals with getting into treatment for substance abuse. Treatment options can range anywhere from detox to inpatient, outpatient services. We also will assist them with, aftercare options as well, such as employment, sober living, and things of that sort.
Wow, that is amazing. Did you want to add anything to that?
No, that's pretty much it. Like she said, just helping people. A lot of the times we'll deal with people who are in active addiction, but we also deal with people who are just coming home from prison or just needing certain things as far as guidance is concerned. It's not just for one demographic, but just to help and
Anybody
to serve
and
the
everybody.
public. Yeah, correct.
Love that. And then can I know the backstory of how you guys got started and how you both
That's all you.
met and how you got to where you are? Yeah.
Yes, so the Hope Dealer Project, again, like I said, was founded in 2015, and it was myself and two other co-founders at that time. We actually met at a Nar-Anon meeting, and Nar-Anon is a group meeting for families that are struggling with someone's substance abuse. And so I sought out the meeting because I was at that time in a relationship with someone that was struggling with substance abuse, unbeknownst to me. And my other two co-founders each had children that were struggling with substance abuse. So we met at that meeting, and at that point in time, our community was losing a lot of people to substance abuse, to overdose deaths. And so we just kind of brainstormed and said, we need to do something. We've got to help our community. And of course, being born and raised in Martinsburg, West Virginia, it was a true passion for me to be able to help the residents in my very own community. So we put our thinking caps on, sat at a kitchen table, and mapped it all out on a napkin. And that's how we got started. We created a toll-free number so that people could reach us by phone. Wow. We created a social media platform so that individuals could reach out to us on that platform as well.
Yeah.
And I actually became a part of the Hope Dealer Project after the fact, after the start of it. I was looking to do some volunteering, anything really. I was just looking to serve the community. And I happened to have been coming from a job interview. And I saw this kiosk, and the name really is what got me. It's just Hope Dealers, and they were on the corner, and they were just like kind of talking to the people, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. Let me go see what this is about. And I walked up, and there was a gentleman named Nick, our intern at the time. Shout out to Nick.
Hey, Nick.
And he was sitting there, and I asked him, I said, so what's the Hope Dealer Project? And he just kind of started laying down what they do. And he was like, we're just out here educating about overdose and overdose prevention, helping people, if they do need, we'll fill out an intake form if they need some kind of services or whatever, and then we give it to, the people who handle that. And I said, well, I'm interested, and I would like to, help. And I got the number, the 800 number, and talked to Tara, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that you made a connection with them, and you were able to be like, this is something I want to be a part of.
Oh, yeah. It felt, honestly, for me, you see a lot of people doing, or you know a lot of organizations that do kind of the same thing, but it was different to see them out in the public, dealing with people, like literally on the street. And you don't see that a lot when it comes to a lot of these types of organizations. There's a lot of office stuff, a lot of clinical things of that nature. You don't really see too much of that
human
interaction like right there. And I knew by seeing that this is where I need to be doing the same thing with these people, because this is how I want to do it.
Love it.
Yeah.
On that subject, what kind of experience do you want to give to people who are looking for help, who are looking for that support? What do you hope to accomplish for them?
We actually want to extend our hand and offer compassion, and to let them know that we're here with you every step of the way. So when our clients reach out to us for services, we don't just get them in detox and get them into rehab and send them on their way, goodbye and good luck. They become a Hope Dealer client for life, because recovery is a journey. It's not a destination. So, when someone reaches out to us for services, we continue to follow up with them, over the months and years, that follow. They reach out to us when they reach certain milestones, such as they've got that job they were looking for, or they finally purchased their first home, or they're getting married, or now they're having their first child. Like, all those things are beautiful, and we want to be a part of that journey, with them. So it's not a one and done.
Yeah.
You become a client for life.
Wow.
And can call anytime and reach out anytime for whatever reason. There's no, we're only deal with these people who are in this situation. It's like she said, once you're involved, it's not a disconnection kind of thing. We'll always be there.
Yeah. I'd like to know, what are you guys doing as far as marketing to get the word out there about what you guys are doing and what you're able to do for other people? Is it more word of mouth? Are you putting posts online and making educational videos? Talk to me about that as business owners.
Well, coming on to the Hope Dealers Project, which is a lot of the capacity which I was brought on for. At first, I wanted to kind of just do the volunteer, but then my background in social media and having my own podcast and stuff like that, I saw, a couple of the bridges that there were. We already have a little bit of a social media presence as it is, but I was thinking more of going in the direction of a podcast, being able to put out there what it is that we do, involving more, because I feel like the demographic in which we're in, being that it's Martinsburg, it's a small town, you know what I mean? So you don't really, although we have that systemic problem of overdoses to the rate where, I can't even, I think we were like the third in the country, in the entire country, where it was like overdose rates and deaths by overdose. To have that kind of problem and for it to not be a national thing, for people not to know, and all of the good work that they did, getting it out there on CBS, I believe, and different news platforms, and even reaching the government at some point, I felt like having that kind of push and making this a national, even worldwide thing makes sense. So that's the plan for right now, is just to kind of, any avenue that we can get to kind of get the word out there, to spread it, what it is that we do, and make connections with the people that we need to in order to keep this going.
Yeah. And talk to me about your team. How many people do you have? Is it just you two? I want to hear all that good stuff.
So we have a team of 15.
Okay.
We do have our set 6 board members, and the rest are volunteers. We also have a repository of additional 30 volunteers that we can reach out to at any given time. So when we hold events and things like that, there's various different activities that we do when we hold those events. So we want to make sure that our volunteers are involved and make people feel welcomed. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what types of events do you guys have, and when do they happen, and who can come, and where can they find information about this?
So everyone is invited to all of our events. We just had our Recovery Fest at War Memorial Park in Martinsburg on the 28th of September. We're gearing up right now for our sober New Year's Eve celebration that will take place on December 31st in Martinsburg at the Purple Iris. So all are welcome. All are welcome to attend. And then followed by that is our annual gala. And we hold our gala in April of every year.
Okay, cool. So something to look forward to. 2 things to look forward to. That's
yes,
Oh, yeah.
2 things,
Oh,
yes.
I love that. And then I saw online, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was part of the service, one was about, I guess, loss.
Yes.
Talk to me about that one. That one stood out to me because I was like, yeah, it's substance stuff, but loss. Is that, just clarify that for me.
Loss is still huge, it's still, it's a tremendous impact for a lot of families because, many people are still in the dark about substance abuse. We need to openly talk about those type of things. We have to unlearn that behavior of just sweeping it under the rug and thinking it's going to fix itself, because it's not. So we do have families that have reached out to us that have lost a loved one to an overdose death. And we will assist families with the need of end-of-life expenses, such as burial or cremation.
Wow.
For our residents in West Virginia. We will assist them.
And you were going to say something.
As far as loss is concerned, again, I can't allow for that, as far as what she said, for that to just go said once. Addiction affects an entire community. It's not just the one person who's addicted to drugs, and it's their problem. It's what's their issue. It's not like that. Usually something like that affects an entire community. If it's not through them not being able to find a job, provide for their family, and then how that impacts their family, or just what happens to the community because of the drugs, the interaction of people buying drugs or selling drugs, the recidivism of going to jail and all of that, it impacts an entire community. So why not? Why wouldn't you include those who have been impacted outside of the person who's just addicted to drugs. So it does make a lot of sense to have that approach. And I found that it's very enriching to know and to deal with the families and to see that struggle kind of go that way, that it's not just something where once it hits, it's an over kind of thing, or it's just had this bad problem and that's that leering of it. You know, it's not there. It's just, it goes away or doesn't go away, but there are ways to deal with it and to, you know, find a way through.
Absolutely. And then for somebody to reach out for help, is it like, does a family member have to like reach out to you guys? Do they do it? They can do it themselves as well? Or is there so many ways that people can get your assistance and your help?
There's multiple ways that individuals can reach us. Our preferred method is for the client themselves, the one that is struggling with substance abuse, to reach out to us.
Okay.
And we do have a toll-free number, and that number is 844-383-HOPE, which is 4673. They can also reach us via inbox on our Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok. Like, we have a plethora of, points of contact that they can reach us, and email, and we also have a website, hopedealerprojectwv.org.
Yeah. And then as far as volunteers go, how can someone apply, or what are you looking for when you let people come in to your organization and be with people who need help?
We actually have a screening process. They go through a few of us that, are board members. But we're open to volunteers because this is a community effort. We have to not unite on one front. And in order to combat the stigma, it's a united effort.
Yes.
So anyone that is interested in volunteering can reach out to us through our Facebook page. They can email us or message us on our website. Any of those, we will reach out to them and go through a screening process. We do have a few vacancies within our nonprofit board. So, we're screening and, seeing where that individual can best fit.
Yeah. Okay. Did you want to add to that?
Oh, no, she wrapped that one up
Okay.
really good.
I would like to know, what are some of the common misconceptions, so you can bring awareness to that and talk to me about how you guys are combating that, and just share that on our podcast for our listeners.
Oh, so many.
Give us some. Give us. Bring it.
The main one is the addiction is something that we should shun and we should push to the side. I've seen that a lot in a lot of different communities. There's how the community works in and of itself, and then there's the people who have these problems, and they're kind of separated and ostracized from the community, which really shouldn't be the case, because you have to kind of, how does the old saying go? You have to take the crookeds with the straights. You know what I mean? You can't just say, oh, I only want these cards here, I don't want the rest of them. And I feel like having a platform and being able to have something where we can include people and make sure that they understand it's not just their problem, it's our problem, everyone's problem. And if we kind of get that mentality going, it's a lot easier to deal with it. A lot of the numbers since Hope Dealer in 2015 has started, as it relates to not only just awareness in overdose, but just getting people to understand what is going on, as opposed to just, again, sweeping it under the rug, arresting everyone, and throwing them in jail, thinking that's going to solve. You can't arrest your way out of this. Yeah, it's something that you have to really include everyone in, and I love that approach. I think that it's the only way to do this, the only way to make a difference with this, problem.
Yeah. Do you want to add to that? I just want to make sure that I get.
Yeah, that one, that's huge. The second biggest one for me, and I also chair the NARNON meeting, the same meeting that I went to back in 2016. So I now chair that meeting, and families come, that's struggling with someone's addiction. And what I find the biggest struggle is accepting the fact that addiction is a disease. It not only affects the addict, it affects the family.
Yes.
As a parent, you may have had all the hopes and dreams of your child becoming, the next NFL player, or, going to college, or just, having a decent job to raise a family. And now they're, experimenting or using substances. Or if, addiction is a spouse, you might watch all your finances dwindle away and, lose your home, or, having to take your children to put them in a safer environment and leave your loved one, your spouse. I mean, there's just a mirror of things that, can all be affected. So I'm encouraging everyone to educate themselves on substance abuse and to realize that it is a disease.
Because there's a lot of times where it's not looked at that way, where it's more of a choice.
Yes,
you're choosing
I hear that a
to do
lot.
this. You're deciding to go. And when you understand the psychological aspects of an addictive personality and understand why that's important, then you start to understand it's not just a choice. There are some people who they don't even realize that they have an addictive personality until something like heroin or cocaine or something harmful gets put in. I know people who have addictive personalities when it comes to gambling, sex, coffee, like all kinds of everyday things that you run
Not
into.
as taboo as
Exactly,
other things.
but it's all right. It's okay for you to have an addiction to coffee because that doesn't cause anybody to be in an uproar, and that's a fine thing to do. But that mindset, knowing that you can't have just one, is not something that should be taken lightly or swept under the rug or treated as if it's a choice, because it's not.
No, absolutely. Thank you guys for sharing that. That's some very important information to know that I think a lot of us sometimes do look past, and it's like you don't think of it as a disease, but when you really break it down, it really is a disease, and it does take over your mind, your body, the people around you. It's
Your entire life.
Yep.
Yeah, it does. And honestly, and to most people's credit, it's how we were shown. You're taught to just say no. It's just that simple. Just say no, and that's it. That's all you have to do. And all these things, we're taught these things throughout life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's painting this false picture of it's this simple.
Just
You
say-
can
yeah.
you can just not do it, and then be like everyone else, and it's really not. It's just not that simple.
Yeah, I remember at school they would bring like the dare to keep kids off drugs,
Right,
and shirt
right.
and everything. Like, did
For how
that
many
help?
people that worked for, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
so
It's like,
did that ever do anything?
imagine if they would have taken the time to actually educate about substance abuse, about an addictive personality, about these different things, as opposed to just, sending these kids out into the world with the just say no mentality. Like,
Or a
okay.
T-shirt. You're like, okay,
Right,
thank
like,
you
yeah,
for that.
you're good, yeah. You got a
Okay.
T-shirt, you're good, yeah.
You're good. You're safe. You say no.
There's things, that advance, with time. I mean, look at technology.
Oh yeah.
And for anyone to think that we're still in the just say no phase in America, we're not. We've advanced beyond that.
Oh my God,
We
yeah.
have to be, more educational. We have to explain the dangers of substance abuse, and it could lead to death. You know what I mean? This is a life or death situation, and it needs to be brought in schools more. It needs to be talked at home more. I mean, every avenue.
Have those conversations.
Yeah.
Have those conversations.
Rather have them now than to be dealing with it in the adult, stage of
Stage,
your child's
yeah.
life. Yeah, it's just, come on. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. With all the work that you guys are doing and the change that you're hoping to see in the community and with people, where do you guys hope to be in the next 5 years? Like, any room for expansion or adding another service? Any thoughts on that you've given to?
So we're moving in that direction now. The Hope Dealer Project just received the governor's endorsement, proclaiming that West Virginia now is the first state in the United States to go purple during National Recovery Month.
Wow.
West Virginia goes purple.
Okay.
So, and Martinsburg, being that's the city that the organization was founded, is the first city in the state to go purple during National Recovery Month. So we've got our work cut out for us. We have 55 counties to make sure that, we get this information readily available into their communities for next September. We've done a lot within our own community with the West Virginia Goes Purple initiative. So we're going to continue to expand on that and taking this information to all 55 counties.
I love that. That is amazing. Congratulations. That's
Thank
not
you.
a small thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that you guys are the first West Virginia to go purple.
Yeah.
Hello.
Right.
Progress.
Thank
Being
you.
born and raised in West Virginia, I'm a diehard mountaineer. And I've often said it, time and time again. We have bled blue and gold for the longest time. And West Virginia being the highest with the overdose rates in the U.S., no, we're going to now stand shoulder to shoulder and we're going to show America that we're going to take our state back.
Yeah.
Like, we're now going to start, talking more about recovery, showing that the community various communities, all 55 counties can recover.
Yes.
So that's our goal.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I think you guys are doing a good job, and you guys got to go purple now. So
Yes.
let's see what else you guys can do in the next
That's the
coming
plan.
time, right?
Yeah.
That's the plan.
I love that. Is there anything maybe that I have not asked you guys about that you would like for the audience to know, whether it's about yourself individually, your nonprofit? Talk to me about that.
So we're a small nonprofit organization, and since its inception in 2015, the struggle has been, financial. So we do receive community donations. Our operation has applied for grants. However, those haven't always been successful. We have been outwon by pet rescue organizations. I love pet rescues,
Yes.
and what they do for communities, but I have a different stance because we're talking about a human life.
Yes.
We're talking about a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister, someone's child. So we thrive off of donations from our very own community, or those statewide, even nationally. We have received donations, and those donations will help us get individuals into treatment. Many times they come to us with just the clothes on their back, and we hear the excuses, well, I don't have any clothing, or this is all I have, I can't go to treatment. So we want them to go with as much dignity and as much respect as possible. So we'll make sure they have the clothing items they need. They have the hygiene items that they may need. If they're entering sober living, that they have the bedding and the linen that they need, covering their application fee, covering the first week of rent, or buying the first week of groceries, because they have 10 days now to get a job. So if they're leaving a rehab, or if they're leaving incarceration, how are they going to cover that application fee? How are they going to cover that first week of rent? So we will assist them with those things. So that's what our money goes towards.
Yes.
Being able to serve our very own community, and helping individuals reach that next level of recovery.
Yeah, so if anybody's out there and can find it in their hearts too, and they want to help, please reach out. We would love for your assistance, and just find a way to help the community be a better space and place for everybody.
That's the idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we had met in 2015, our community didn't even have a detox center. We didn't even have a rehab. So we knew we had to get the individual to treatment. So we would have to drive them to other parts of the state. The closest detox was 2 hours. The next detox after that was 4 hours. And then you have your rehabs, which are 4 to 6 to 8 hours away. So we would get them medically cleared at our local ER, and we would have to drive them to the other parts of the
Physically,
state.
those hours to the
So driving them to get them to treatment, whether it be detox or rehab. Typically, detox is a 7 to 10 day stay, just to remove the toxins from their system.
Yeah.
They medically assist them, with any withdrawal symptoms that they may be experiencing. And then they work with their case manager at detox to get into the next aftercare phase, which would be an inpatient rehab. And typically that can start anywhere from 28 days on up to 90 to 6 months to a year. So, if they have been, abusing substances for years, some decades, it's going to take a little longer than 28 days of rehab, or 90 days, or 6 months to a year. So we highly encourage them to stay for as long as they possibly can, to make sure that they equip their toolbox with the tools that they need to maintain sobriety.
Absolutely. Wow. Up to a year sometimes.
Up to a year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'd like to ask, what facility do you guys, work with?
So we do now, within the past 5 years, have gotten a detox center in our area, as well as a rehab. So we will work with our clients and get them into detox, and then we will assist them with navigating over to our local rehab. Now, if those beds become full for any reason, we still assist them with getting to other parts of the state. Transportation was our original issue. It's minimized a little bit, but there are still transportation issues within our community.
Yeah.
Because with having one detox and one rehab, and if those beds become full, we are still, needed to facilitate transportation to other parts of the state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Necessity rules the day there. Again, having those same kind of issues in such a small microcosm, and having the effects that it does with that little resources, you have to imagine how fast those beds can fill up, or how much of a revolving system that becomes. You know what I mean? So it's very important to know where these resources are located. And shout out to all the people that we network with, all the different facilities and people that we've met over time and have done business with over the time. They have just been really good with us, and so outgoing, and I love the rapport with them. It's like you'll call and make arrangements for a client, and as soon as they hear that it's the Hope Dealer Project, it's just their attitude towards us and how they are. It's amazing to have that much of an impact with these different people, and it just says something about the organization as a whole.
Yeah, no, that is so great. The fact that they're just like, okay, yes, like we prioritize you guys, and you guys have made a name for yourselves for this. I think that is very powerful and a testament to the change that is possible and that you're able to do together. So it is awesome. On a lighter note, I would like to ask what you guys like to do in your free time, because I'm sure this can be kind of weighing a little bit heavy on your hearts and your minds sometimes. So I would like to know, like, what helps you find peace and refresh your mind to do this.
So for me, I'm a single mom. I have 2 adult children, and I just recently become an empty nester. So I'm going
congratulations.
I'm going through that phase. House is kind of quiet, but I reach out to my kids. I spend time with kids. All I have to do is say, "Hey, mom's cooking," and
Ding,
here they
here.
come. So I really enjoy spending time with my kids and my mom. My mom is my biggest cheerleader. She shows up at every single event that we have.
Aww.
Yeah.
Mason is awesome.
Hey, shout out another one. What about you?
Oh, me. Unwinding. I'm a pop culture freak, as you know.
Yes,
I
we
love
know.
comics. I love video games. Any of those things help with just getting my mind off of things. But again, I kind of got to piggyback off of what Tara said. Family.
Yeah.
My sons are a huge waypoint for me as it relates to just being able to snap my mind away from something that heavy, and then kind of being able to just get back down to earth. They really help with that, just being the boys that they are. And of course, my family unit in a general sense have always been very supportive and strong as it relates to those kind of things. So those are always good things to fall back on.
I love it. My final question is going to be one that I like to ask everybody, and you may remember it. But what is a saying or a quote that has meant a lot to you, or maybe somebody has told you that's impacted your life in like a great or positive way that you continue to use as inspiration?
If nothing changes, nothing changes.
Simple as that. Wow. It's complicated as that.
Yeah.
Right?
I've always, as it relates to this, I've always loved this saying, like, to understand that you have, to understand what the problem is, you have to first understand that you have one. And I like that. I just like being able, that insight of looking at yourself and knowing what's going on, and from there being able to do something about it. I've always enjoyed that. So to me, I would say that if you know for a fact you're struggling, if you know for a fact that you have something you have to change, looking at the inside and working from there outward is always the best way to go. So I like that.
Love it. Thank you. And then one more time, where can people reach out to you guys if they need some help, or they're shy or scared?
No, don't be shy or scared. Call, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to reach me directly anyway. So reach out to us on our toll-free number, and that number is 844-383-HOPE, which is 4673.
Beautiful. Thank you both for being on the podcast and for sharing your journey and the struggles of it all, and the change that you're hoping to make in our world and our community. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And I'll tell you, like I tell all of our media avenues, we're the new dealers in town. We deal
Yes.
hope.
I love it.